Module 21, Activity CRUD Operations. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check out our other how-to videos from this channel. Also, subscribe and share. It will be helpful for the channel. So I thought I was going to finish with the reports. A couple of the followers asked me to add little bits and pieces more to the CMS. So I'm thinking then, well, if we're going to continue, it would be appropriate to add the activity for the customer management system, because there will be a daily task for the help desk or the management personnel who handles a call. It could be a call-in center, for instance. So this is where the activity is going to happen. So user can add activities, all right, or not, or delete, whatever. So we're just going to implement the add activities or the activities, all right. Also, if you look at this right here, Samantha Jane commented on the how can I populate the calendar with my appointment information on the calendar, right? Information on the calendar. So Samantha, if you follow this activity CRUD operations line by line, you will be able to implement your request. All right, so just pay attention closely, because I have already done it, the orders, and it shouldn't be that difficult. All right, here is the second time I'm going to do it, but this time I'm going to populate these activities onto the calendar, but once this CRUD operation is working. All right, so just stay with me and just do what I'm doing, and then you will be fine. Okay, you will be fine. So it's just repetitive, it's not much. So let's open up our Access and go coding. All right, let's go to our Access projects. Let's see what we can do here. If you want me to continue, let's make a copy of this module 20. Finish up report options, copy V. Yes, we can add activities. Let's do activity CRUD. Let's go in there and pop it open. We're gonna enable this content. So in the last video we got finished with this guy. So all seem to be still work the way it should work. That's good. That's good. What we want to do then, we can add activities here. So let's do that. Ooh, oh, I know what happened there. Let's go back in. So what I did to this guy, if you click on this guy, it's going to close the whole application down. So I'm gonna go here and and from there. So what I did was, matter of fact, let's go to this form right here. Go to on close event. See right here on close. Comment that out. That way you don't leave the application. All right. Don't shut down the application. All right. Let's go to our module. Create module class module. Let's see. We can say activity. Control S. Activity. All right. One thing that we need to do before that, we need to go to a table design. Let's call this activity ID short text file. How about activity date format, date data type. How about activity type, ID, int number. That would be the number, and then here field size. We don't have that many. We just do integer. Let's see. What else do you need here? We got activity type, date type. What else? Activity text. That would be that would be long text. What else can we do here? Date. So now we can separate out the date and the time, or you can use the date time format. Let's see. Yeah, we can do that too. Date time and date time format combined. Let's stick with the activity date, and let's see if we can extract time from the activity date later. All right. Let's see. What else do we need here? We got a text. Well, let's say completed. This would be a number as well. We're going to use the int as a field size. You don't need to do the long int, because that's integer is sufficient enough. All right, let's make this a primary key. Control S, call this activity, and then we have activity table right here. Now we can go to, as a matter of fact, let's close that out. We're going to create, let's go to SQL view. Okay, well, hold on just a second. Let's go back here. We'll just pull this guy over, and now go to SQL view. You know what? Let's do this. Let's grab that first and put it in there and go to SQL view. Copy that list, copy, and come over here in the class module. Let's do private. This one will be as string, and then we're just going to remove the activity, put an S in front. We don't need this. We don't need that. We need this guy and remove this guy, S. And we don't need this. Oops. There. Let's do it again. Private. Paste. We still have that guy in there. We don't need this. It's going to be date. So let's put D in front of the activity date. And we don't need the rest of them. As date. Private. Paste. We've got these two right here. This will be type. We need a type. Type is an integer. Also an integer is completed as integer. Alright, let's grab one of these properties. Make sure you select the let and the get. We'll copy that, close that file, and back in here. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's massage this guy. Let's copy activity ID, paste it in there. This will be an S, activity ID, there, S, activity ID. And the next one is activity text, copy, S text. This is pretty straightforward. Once you learn one, how to do one, the rest should be pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. If you get the concept of developing things, and that's all you need is to get the concept. Hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? Once you learn one thing, the rest of them is the same. So paste. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So I think I'm worried about those who are trying to skip the video and just go to the conclusion. If you follow along line by line the way I code, you should not have any issues with this with these things, because you and I are doing exactly the same thing. Alright, whatever I do, if I can come up with solution, because you should be able to come up with the solution as well, because I'm not copy and pasting anything without you knowing. You know what I'm saying? So you should, if you follow me correctly line by line the way I show you, you should not have any issues. Alright, I think there are a couple of you having issues or wanting to do certain things. Let's see, this would be I completed, and then I completed. Make sure you change this guy to integer. Same thing as here. We'll get that. Yeah, programming is pretty straightforward. A lot of time we tend to would tend to jump to conclusion and seeing the results and like the result and want to do implement the result. Well, before we get to the result, we got to start from the beginning. All right, so so this is the beginning of the solution in anything is to create a class module, or in object programming we call this object. All right, class object. uh, private sub class initial class. That's important. Underscore is important. So now we need to say um, activity. We're gonna implement our activity with ID here. Activity ID. My bad. So if I make mistake, you see how I make mistake and how I correct the mistake. All right. So if you follow it me correctly, I know there are a couple of you guys say, hey, I cannot get this to do this, I cannot get that to do this, or this does not show up, that does not show up. I think that has to do with I'm going to default this activity date to 12/31/1899. All right, that was way before my time. That's the reason. I think that happens is oh, hold on, date right here. Make sure this data type jives. All right, the let data type and the get data type. All right, I know a couple of times I messed, I forgot to change or define it incorrectly. When you copy and paste, this is important. All right, make sure you go through this. See, this one says date. Make sure it's date. All right. So the let is integer, the get should be integer. The let integer, get integer. All right. So that's make sure that's done correctly. All right. Now we got type. Activity type ID equals 0. That being a number, and then we got completed. Number being 0. All right. So okay, let's query. Cancel that. We are going to close this out. Don't save. Cancel. Close. No. Huh. That's kind of weird. It doesn't want you to cancel. Close. Well, let's see if we did that. Oh well, just if it doesn't allow you to cancel, all right, like don't save, just save it and delete it. All right, so we go back. Let's go back in there. This is weird. See how it's on the bottom here? Go and select that and delete. Not sure about that. Usually if you cancel, it just doesn't delete, doesn't save. Okay, let's go back in here. So we save that. This is the first thing that you would do in all programming, is to create an object. Otherwise we don't have an object to play with. So you gotta have an object to play with. All right, got that out of the way. Now let's go to code the access portion or repository. Some call it repository, some call it data access layer. I am up to call it data access layer because this is where we interact with the database. All right, so let's add insert module. We're gonna call this guy, go ahead and name this guy activity database access. See, that's why we call this is a data access portion. So you should separate out the stuff, all right, the object. Make sure they don't live in the same place. Otherwise, um, it's going to be confusing. All right. So, for example, if you have been following me, you notice how I define this guy, the name, and then we can just go into one of these guys and see all its functions and subroutine, or some of us call it action methods, actions or functions. All right. So let's go to one of these guys. I am going to go to customer right here. Let's see. Yeah, let's go to company. The company is fine. Just go in there. There are a minimal. Uh, yeah, there are minimal. There are only 3 functions there. It's just very simple stuff. Right, just very simple stuff. So I'm going to, let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and do a control. Hold down the control button. Control A, select all. Control C, copy. Close that file. I'm going to do the same thing here. Control A, select all. Control V, paste. All right. And that's all you have to do here. Now let's work your bottom up. This being the activity, we just change the company to activity. That's all you need to do. Activity there. And then here's object right here. We're gonna change the object to O activity as activity right there. All right. So it's not a whole lot. And then here, as a matter of fact, we need an ID here. All right. Let's pass in an ID. That would be activity. Let's do AID. Let's see. Let's do S activity as string or ID as string. And then here we can just say from activity where activity ID equals SS activity ID. So that's pretty that's pretty much it. I'm gonna copy this activity exists name and paste it in there, and right here on the error handling, let's go ahead and take all these out. We'll say O activity. That would be the first would be the date. OS. And then now this you can point this guy to this guy. They are essentially the same, but because we're working with database, this makes sense. All right, I'm gonna copy that, paste. The next one I want to conform to the database that we have. All right, let me see. Let's go to the design view. We have date and data type, activity type. So date, that's right. It's really not that difficult to learn to design to be a programmer. The only time that is difficult is your ability to Oh, yeah, that should be capitalized. It should recognize. There you go. It's your ability to logic your way into getting stuff done. You know, I think that's the and not everybody has that the ability. Of course, we're all born the same differently, but that ability can be, I think, can be accomplished with time. Ability to logic your way into getting things done. All right, Control S, save that. So we're done with that portion. If we are too quick, too fast to the conclusion, we tend to skip the details in between. I think that's where the problem lies. Like most people, most people or people who are programmers, I wouldn't say most. I'll take that back. Like some of the programmers or people who are interested in becoming a programmer, they tend to plug out plug out stuff that they want to learn, and and then just jump to the conclusion. I think that's where the problem lies. Is that you can't just jump to the conclusion. To learn certain things, you have to have an idea and concept of what you are learning. If you don't have a concept, if you don't understand the concept, it's really hard to grasp. Because when you hit the issue, or when you are when you are faced with the problem, then you can say, oh, okay, what happened here? How come this? How come that? Right? Uh, oh, activity ID. Um, so that's there. So start from the beginning and learn line by line. You'll be amazed how your mind can capture everything that you are trying to do. If you watch it line by line, your mind's eye will remember. The more you look at it, the more you are going to activity date. The more you are going to remember. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to copy this. Makes it easy. Yeah, there. Um, just go through it religiously. Like one of the YouTubers, the followers, he is following these modules that I'm creating religiously. He said, I mean, that's the best way to do. If you really want to become a programmer, and many companies love to have a very, very good programmers who can produce the result. So what else do we need? We have completed. There should be only 5 variables, 5 properties here. There. Yeah. So if you really want to become one, then become a good programmer. Just follow line by line. Don't Um, let's see. Think. Let me see. I'm gonna go to my channel here and see what's going on in my channel. Samantha asks, how can I populate the calendar with my appointment table information and display it per status as you have done with orders? Well, that's pretty easy. If you follow the way I populated the order numbers on the calendar with that portion. If you watch the portion that I do this, that you shouldn't have problems. You shouldn't have problem. Display orders on the calendar, because essentially you're just going to start creating a function to return a number of appointment, and then in the code it shows you how to display it on the calendar, populate on the calendar like that. That should be straightforward. All right, because the order, you can just imagine that order is the same as, or your appointment is the same as the order, and then implement it the same way. Just change the order to appointment. This would be S activity ID. And that's all you would need to do, is to change your function. Instead of retrieving the order, retrieve the activity, like I'm doing right now. See? And that's all you need to do, Samantha. It's not that, yeah, it's not that difficult. Just follow that, just follow what I've done there, and you shouldn't have any issues. Should be the same. Because if you notice, what I did here, I went into the company DB access and copy all three functions. And what I've done here is replace the object, the table name. That's all. And you would have to do the same thing. For instance, Samantha, let's see. I think we've got order here. See, this is order data access layer. Get orders by month, for example. You see there? Get orders by month. See? And all you have to do is to pass in an object, the list of orders, order list right here. That's a list. Parentheses a list, and that's what you need to do. And then send in the date. What date do you want? So, and that's how I retrieve information. Let's see. How about the get grand total, for example? Let's see. Remove add products. Let's see. Get new line number. Update line number. See, that's pretty straightforward, right? For example, this one, get order here, and once you've done that, you can basically do the same thing with the displaying the number of appointments onto the calendar. So let's get back to our activity DB access. We are done with this, by the way. Only three functions. So Samantha, watch how I code here. So let's go back to Samantha. Alright, this is Samantha. Jane, how can I populate the calendar with my appointment information? Alright, so this activity will eventually be populated onto the calendar. So watch this one correctly, line by line, how I code it. I started with this activity. Alright, Samantha, I started with this object. So you can imagine this is the appointment. all right, and code your appointment the way I am doing now, all right, and follow me line by line, and you're going to be able to populate your appointments onto your calendar because we are going to do the same thing here, okay? So and then in the access DB access, we just implemented 3 functions. This one is to retrieve the activity, and this one is to save the activity, and this one is to delete an activity. Or you can say appointment saved, appointment deleted, appointment exists here. So you can say appointment exists here. All right, and change this table from activity to your appointment table. All right. So let's follow along. We're gonna get you going because your appointment table has appointment type. Here we have activity type. You see there? All right. So we got that object and the CRUD ready to be processed. One thing that we are missing in here is the activity type. All right. So I'm gonna implement the easy way without the CRUD. Let's create a new table. Let's call this activity type ID, and this should be a number. All right. I don't want to use an auto number because I want my ID to be in sequence. Now, if you use auto number and add information in it, if the first one will be 1, all right, so it's going to increment it. If you use auto number, the first number will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. Now, later on, you decided, hey, I don't want this activity, and you delete one of them. For example, you delete the middle item. Say you delete the 3, all right, and then you are going to have a gap. You're gonna be you are going to be left with 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and so on. If you use auto number, because you deleted that item number 3. You follow what I'm saying? Let me show you what it is. Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm gonna show you why I don't like auto number, like I mentioned in the past. Let's do a quick demonstration. Let's see this. Let's call this activity name, and maybe a description of the maybe the description of your make that primary. Make description of your activity. All right. Save that guy. We're gonna delete this one, or we're gonna come back to this one and massage it later. All right, save activity, Control S. I'm gonna show you why I don't like auto number activity type. All right, so we got activity type right here. Close that out. If you look at it, we don't have anything here. All right, so if you jump in here, let's call this incoming call, and the description is customer calling in. Yeah, let's see, customer calling in. That's fine, that's good. Now watch, see how it just automatically added a 1 in there. Okay, we're gonna go add a second one. Let's call this one outgoing call. See how it added 2. All right, so we can say um, let's call this one, let's create a description for this guy. um, let's say help desk call customer, uh, call how about call customer. That's good. I think we need to be consistent. Let's say this one, instead of calling, say call. All right, so now we add the third one. um, what are the activities the user has, the help desk personnel has? How about um, reply in email? So perhaps you got an email from a customer and then you try to reply an email. Let's call this help desk email reply. Email reply. All right. Now we are going to delete the outgoing call. Right. We're going to delete the outgoing call, and then we're going to add a new one. Let's see what happens to that number. All right. So this is a quick demonstration why I don't like auto number. So select that row. So click on this right here, bracket selected, hit delete. You are about to delete. So that's the problem right there. See how it presents a gap in there? See how it presents a gap there? And that's what I am referring to, is that as you add new uh, items here, new activity name here, maybe one day or tomorrow you're going to decide, hey, you don't like that, you're going to delete it, and then you can leave that ID not in sequence, out of sequence, I should say. So incoming call, incoming call was deleted, and then email. How about email customer? How about email customer? Sending email to customer, for example. See how it added 4? You're missing the 3 there, the 2 there, and that's the problem with auto number. All right, and you can achieve the same thing without missing a beat if you implement the way I'm going to show you here. So let's go back to the design view, change that order to number. That's all you need to do, and then Control S. Now let's go to the view. All right, we are going to add. Now it requires you to enter it explicitly. Now we're going to add 2 and say outgoing call. All right, call customer. That would be you just add whatever description you want to add there. All right, now we got a sequence 1 2 3 4 without the skipping number. All right, without skipping number. You see there, it reorders for you 1 2 3 4. That's what we want. All right, so now with that, we got that activity type 1 2 3. Incoming call. How about outgoing? Yeah, how about incoming email, outgoing email. I think that's better. That's probably better. So we got incoming call, outgoing call, incoming email, outgoing email. So we got those 4 items. All right. So Control S, close that. That's pretty simple. So now this guy, this ID right here, can be used as a status ID. All right. Status ID, similar to well, let's continue. So that's all you need to do. All right, that's all you need to do. Let's see what else do we need to do here. We got the CRUD. Yeah, let's continue. Let's create a form, the front end portion. So the front end portion, all you have to do is, I'm gonna copy this guy. Let me see. Let's look at this guy. Does not have much here. Let's see, do order. Let's look at the order. Yeah, I like the order. All right. I think this is good. Well, let's see product. How about product? This product category. I'm trying to look at what I can do, how I can implement it. Yeah, this one is well, it's got that one. So I'm going to look at not that one, customer again. I'm going to go back to this customer. I like this customer. Yeah, this is good. So we can use this as a template. All right. And yeah, we can use this as a template. On the list here, as a sub form here, that could be a list of activities that we can search for. All right. So let's do that. Let's close this out. This is a customer. Control V, Control C, Control V, and then say activity. So that's how I do things, because they are already there and you don't have to do a whole lot. All right. And all you have to do is massage these guys. All right. With all, so I can just delete all these right here. What do we have? We have an ID. We have the date. We can say this is date. See? And then we can have a type here. And then we can have a text here. So how many and we can have it completed here. Or type, you can have completed there, and then delete the rest of them. And this would be activity, and then make this guy, you know, a little larger. So what is this? That's a customer ID. Let's see what this one is. That's current action, previous, new, customer number. We don't need customer number, so take that out. That's it. That's all we need. All right. For now, we are going to take this guy out. Well, as a matter of fact, we don't have to worry about this. Just ignore this right here. Subform on the left here. Ignore that. Don't worry about it. All right. So now let's go into this date right here. Change that to txt activity date. The type txt activity type ID. Completed. This will be on and off. This will be 1 or 2. All right. So we're gonna change this guy to drop down list. So change to combo box. and then and then change the name to CBO completed. Um, and now um, you can implement it the easy way, or you can do the hard way. The hard way would be leave everything the same. Let's see, what was it? Okay, right here. Leave everything the same and select the format as yes or no. Now, the yes or no basically going to give you a string yes or a string no. But if you look at your table, your activity is 1, 2, 3. Hold on, my bad. Not 1, 2, 3. A number. You see that completed is a number. So So that lies not a problem, but how are you going to do it? All right. If you use this, then every time you save, you have to convert that yes to a 1 and no to a 0 every single time, which is not that difficult. You just recognize, hey, we don't want a string, we want a number. All right. So I think in couple of these guys, I have done that. All right. So let's go ahead and do this one. Formatted. We use yes and no format. All right. So let's leave it like that. And then change this box right here as txt activity text. That's pretty much it. Let's see what else are these labels for. So that's the customer number. We don't have the customer number, all right, for the activity. So delete that. This is what this guy is. Customer name, we don't need that, all right. Status, oh, we need a status. So now we can just push this guy to the top, select the background black there, and we're gonna make that guy a yay. All right, and now you can push this guy up like so. As a matter of fact, I'll move this guy horizontally, and then move this guy up. One thing, and that's good enough. You don't want to write a story. So activity text, activity here should just be pretty simple, couple of lines. But let's come in here to this other right here. We're gonna change this into key behavior from default to inline to new line. All right. That way you can remember I talked about this earlier in one of the videos. The new line just allows you to use the into key to add a new line. All right. So that's what that is. So let me see this one. This one is index 1. Yeah, this one should be index 2 right here. That should be 2. This should be 3. That should be 4. That's it. All right. Um, that's that. That's pretty much it for the screen portion, the front end screen portion. Now let's go to the back end, not back end, the code behind. We call it the code behind. So in the code behind here, you see this object right here. We're gonna go ahead and change that to activity. as activity. Let's comment out this guy because so now let's go all the way to the bottom. We're going to work bottom up. I like to work from bottom up just because it once we get to the top, that means we're done. All right. There's not a whole lot of presets going on here because we remove a whole bunch of these guys. All right, so let's change this caption to activity, and then the we don't have these guys. All right, so let's remove that out. We just remove them. We've got a status. We've got this guy, but we've got change the customer to activity ID. Oh, we haven't changed that one. Let's go back. Let's go back. This guy should be customer. Should be activity ID. Activity ID. There you go. So, and everything's the same. Let's go back to the code. So now we're going to say txt activity ID, like so. We don't have this guy, so we'll go ahead and delete these guys. Just like that. Now the clear text, remember we don't have this guy. Delete that. We'll change that one to activity ID. We don't have customer number, customer name, so we're gonna take that out. We don't have salutation. We don't have salutation, so we have a date. So we can just basically take a whole bunch of these guys out and leave. Let's see how many controls do we have in here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do that. Let's take everything out and leave but 4 controls. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we can just take the, actually that one's already there, and we're gonna take that one out too. And now we're gonna change this guy to CBO date type. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, type. We gotta change this guy to a drop down list as well. See this type right here? We are gonna pull the information from this guy. All right, that will be this selected. All right, selection. So go ahead and change this guy. Right click, change to combo box. All right, and then yeah, and then instead of txt, change that to CBO. All right, you want to be consistent of your naming convention. And here, let's see how we're gonna do this. So here we're gonna dance around a little bit here. I'm gonna move down, and here I'm gonna copy that and paste and call this a time. And then before we save, we're just gonna combine the date and the time together. All right, so activity time. And let's see what else we need to do. Something, this being a date, so we'll call this general date, or not, format there. We want a short date listed, and right here we want a short time. Right there, short date, short time. Remember the short time here, it needs to be 24 hours. If you use a medium time, then you're gonna have to use a PM and AM. All right, so let's make life easier. Let's use a short time there. All right, and then you can add a label. Let's go to form design here, add a label. We're gonna say this one kind of reminder, 24-hour format. So we'll just add something to let the user know that this is a 24-hour format. And then we need a italic like so. Perhaps this guy should be a little red. So how do you yeah, let's see, full color right here should be red like so. Right there. Maybe right there, that's good. Just like that. And then just remind them, hey, this is the 24-hour format. All right, Control S. Let's go back to the code. So where were we? Right here. So now we can have activity txt activity date is no, actually today's date, and now CBO activity type activity type should be me CBO activity, the first item, and then the completed CBO completed equals me. Oops, let's go to the end there. CBO completed first item. So as you type along with me and try to listen to what I say, all right, you should and you should be fine. All right, you should be fine, and try to use your imagination as well. Hey, what is he talking about? Oh, I understand what he is talking about, for instance. All right, so if you try to talk your way through and think your way through this, it should be easy. All right, so that's, now let's do the unlock. All right, all right, we are going to implement the same way. See how we have to say set new customer. Remember we did this one. Let's see. Yeah, this is fine. I want to go back to the activity data access right here. I remember we did this guy right here. Set O activity equals to new activity. Remember we did this one. I'm gonna go back to what was it, the company DB here as well. We're gonna correct these issues. We started working with this order by setting the new new activity inside of this data access layer. Let's see if we can find one here. Right here. You see there? This way we don't have to set it prior to coming into this function. So that's the thing, you know, as you keep going back, you know, programmers keep going back to their code and trying to remember what needs to happen at every time they're looking into that function. So as I was coding here, I just noticed, hey, we implemented this one so that we don't have to set new order prior to coming in here, you see, for the get. Now the new is different. The new is different. So here's the same way. If company exists, here I'm going to say set all company. Oops, there I go. I was going to start typing my last name. Set new company right here. Right now, I'm going to go back to this guy and find this guy. I think that guy is in the company form. All right. So let's go to the company form. While we add it, go ahead and make a correction. That way we don't, you know, forget to returning in here. So go to this form right here, company. We're gonna look for this company exists, right? As a matter of fact, here's how it is. Just select this guy. Let's do it this way. Select that guy. Control F. Select this guy right here, current project, and let's go find it. That's good. That's good. Select next. See right here, you don't have to set it new here because we sent it in here. So this is going to save us from remembering in the future. Say 5 years down the road, we want to come in here. We don't want to have to set new in here. We just pass in our object and it will handle its job in the code like so. Let's go find the next one. Here's another one. See the footer? So here's what I was talking about. If you take this out, all right, if we add this one time, we don't have to do it in here. This is better, and it's better way of coding is to recognize where can we do code so that we don't have to repeat ourselves. You know what I'm saying? This is called repetitive. We want to stay away from redundancy. So that's it. 2 places. That's good. And all handles in this one little function. All right. So that's good. That's what we want to do. All right. So let's close that one out. We're going to close this form right here on the right hand side. Close until we find the form activity. That's access, DB access. See there? As I'm closing here, just try to notice that's a form activity. All right. Now the new, if you're adding a new activity here, you will have to set a new activity. Otherwise, you cannot set these guys. All right. So just remember, just keep in mind. Oh, one thing I Control S. One thing I forgot here as I'm talking. Right here, we need to set this guy to ORD. Remember this one? Identification. There, get new. Forgot about that one. So make sure you set that one. All right. If your ID is text, and if you have been following this project, we've got that GUID identification here. This is real smart, by the way. If you, yeah, this is pretty smart. It gets it randomizes and stuff and all that, and it only takes what 1, 2, 3 functions to do the job. So that's pretty clever. Anyways, let's get back to our task. Close that out. Go to the form activity right here. Up here, you can look at the form activity. So now we can say activity and then new. activity like that. We don't have none of this stuff. That's all. You don't need to do anything here. You just set it. You just set it and forget about it. And now the unlock, what do we have? Text. What's the next one? Activity type, CBO activity type. What's the next one? Date, time. Oh, activity time right there. Is complete. CBO completed. And that's it. Oh, activity text. And the rest gone. Just like that. This guy, take that out. So now we'll change this guy to activity type, CBO activity type. This one is activity date, activity time, completed. So that's yeah, that's it's pretty straightforward, by the way. I mean, there's nothing science rocket. It's pretty straightforward. That's it. All right, and then we're going to set our focus to date. So there you go. We are moving on. Let's move to the next one. That was the lock. Now the sun lock. So I'm just going to grab the whole thing here. Actually, you know what? The unlock right here is true. It's not true. See there? You gotta unlock all that. Okay. So now let's copy that. Put it in here. Change the true to false to true. There. There. And then all white. So I'm just gonna copy that white and replace this guy. Now this, you have a whole bunch of places to replace. All you have to do is select, all right, and replace this guy. Like Command Control S, select the text, and then just change replace like so. All right. Since we just a couple of lines, I can just we can just do that. Now is the validation. All right. All right. So the first one we're gonna check is how about not is date. All right, so then we're going to change this to, all right, normally if you don't, if this format right here, if this date is entered incorrectly, it's going to block you anyway. All right, because we define it as a short date. So if you don't enter it incorrectly, if you don't enter it correctly, it's going to bark at you. But in the code here, we'll go ahead, to conform of our coding, we'll go ahead and validate it. All right, so activity date. So that's yeah, that's that. So what else? So now if it is valid, else, I mean, if it is valid, how about the time? How about the time? If not, is time activity time. Then, oh, there's no each time. Haha. Okay. So maybe we need to add a function to see if it's time. Well, let's see. So if the activity date is valid, we want to make sure that we have the time. So, you know what? You know what? I think as we are looking at this, let's go back to activity here. I think we should have a start time and end time. What do you think? How about, yeah. So we got a date. Let's do a start time. I think that's a good idea. Start time. See, as we talk, we can basically end time. Um, this is a good, yeah. So as you could, you're gonna start thinking, oh, okay, what else do we need in here now? You know what? We need to close that form. Close that form. Um, we need these 2 days. These two columns because we're gonna be having an activity, starting an activity. We've got a date. We need to know what time we start and what time that activity ends. So there you go. There you go. So let's go to our code. Here's a easy way to get there. Double click that guy. Let's go to the top right here. It's a string. So we'll say start time s in time. All right. And now we're gonna just go. I'm just gonna copy this guy, the top two there, and I'm gonna find the date. I want this guy to be behind the date. That way we know they're close there. I'll go ahead and do this one. Start time s start time start time. Make sure you spell them correctly, or you know why. Let's start time. Oh, we got it. One more T there. All right, let's do the end time. Now the end time is easy. Copy this guy, paste, change your start to end. We're done. End, end, end. See there? Pretty straightforward. End. Oops. End. There. All right, and here, date. We'll go behind there. Start time. We're going to default to midnight. That's called midnight. End time equals we're gonna call this 15 minutes. So we're gonna start noon and end in 15 minutes. That's just the default, by the way. So now we can say if it's no by the way, we're gonna have to change this to start time and end time here. Oops. So let's go ahead and go to the front end here. Go ahead and close that out. We're done with that database table. See this time right here? we're gonna make room for, we're gonna accommodate or copy that one. Here we'll say start, end. So here we'll say start time. Yeah, start time. And then here txt end time, like so. I just move that guy down there. That's a good idea right there. Control S, let's go back into the code behind. Now we're going to change this guy to, if it's no, then we'll say we don't want to grab that guy. We want to grab this guy. Like so, and then we'll say start time. So if it's no, we want to do that. Else, actually, you know what? We don't need to do else here. We want to check for the end time. If it's no, me text end time, then and if and then we'll do the same thing, end time. That's that. So we are not going to check the start time and end time until the activity date is valid. Alright, but if the activity date is valid, then we got to check the time, start time and end time. That is the idea. Alright, now let's go to yeah, let's move this guy back up there so they look a little uniform. Now the type. Alright, the type. Here CBO activity type. We'll just call this activity type. Simple enough. And then we're gonna check for CBO. By default, this guy should be complete. Should be pre-selected. All right, just in case some funky user just trying to remove all that stuff. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. And then we gotta make sure that add blah 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 something. All right, your activity. That's it. That's all. And then we'll just take out all this stuff. I see. I see. There you go. And then we can, yeah, take this. Now we can just say this is good right here. All right, let's continue. Let's move up to the next one. Here is a set. So we're going to change a set to activity. So as you can see how I'm doing things here, it's not the rocket science. We can just it's just copy and paste because we've done the hard work already. We're copying the so here I just said I'm going to remove all bunch of these like so, and then we're just going to set all stuff. All right, to me activity ID date equals yep, activity date, and then activity start time equals me start time. Oops. There. End time. Complete. CBO complete. Oh, we got type. Forgot to type. Let's add it. Let's see. Oops. Where is it? Okay, type is behind the end time. That's good. So let's go to what was I? Oh, right here. Set activity. Yeah. Okay. So let's move that activity type. Me CBO activity type. And then once we got a type is completed, good. And now it's a text, activity text, like so. All right. So we validate it and then we set. Once we set, and then we save. That's pretty straightforward. See that? We validate it and then we set. And once we set, then we call activity DB access. And if you're just going to remove and leave that little bits in there, it's just going to replace it. And now we're going to just put that guy in there. As a matter of fact, we are going to remove all of that, and then we're going to say record saved equals. That's it. Now, for some of you guys who are new and not sure why I say record save equals to this function, all right, I'm going to go over it again just briefly. It takes about 15 seconds, maybe less. The reason why I say record saved equals to this function is, just so that you know, it's because of this function is booleans. Alright, just remember that. Remember, each function returns something, a data type. So a function could return a string, a date, a number, an object, whatever it is. Alright, based on its data type. So that activity returns true or false. That's it. Now, and here record delete, we can say activity DB access. I want to remove this customer, and if I do this, see there, and now I'm going to change that guy to activity ID. So with that one, we're moving on. Now display. This is good. And now we want to make sure that we have activity ID there. And then here's the same thing, activity DB access. See there? It's pretty straightforward. See there? And then we can send in our activity and the ID. It's not much to it, right? I don't think so. Unless I'm missing something. Now is the activity date equals Right, so next one, activity start time. Oops, too fast. End time. CBO type. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about the type. Activity type. No, activity type. My bad. My bad. Um, the completed, not completed. We gotta fix that one. All right, I'm going to show you how to fix the completed or not completed. All right, right here. Check this out. Check this out. Completed equals if you see here, because we want to convert this to a string. Remember, I told you that. If completed equals 0, then comma, then no, else. Pretty straightforward. See there? That's it. That's all you have to do. Now here we say activity text equals these are all good right here. These are all good right here. Look at that. This is all good right here. All right. Now let's go back to all set. Completed right here. You see here? We do the same thing, just in the reverse. If equals yes, then 1 else 0. See that? That's all you have to do. Just you just check on one item, and if it's not one, and should be the other. Still on two items, one or the other. See that? Now, if you want to be consistent, see how it says checking the yes first, and here it's checking the no first. You can check the yes first. It's just whatever, you know. So it's whatever you want it to do. Now let's do this set control. This should be activity. This should be activity. Here in the save right here. Hold on. Save. Yep. Okay. In the cancel right here. See cancel. We gotta change that to activity ID. So anytime you see a customer ID, because we remove that, now it's display customer. Here we gotta fix that. It's display activity, like so. So now we can just change that to just like that. See what else? Looking at the okay, good. So if we save, we lock the whole thing. We show the guy. If we delete, we clear, we lock. Okay, good. If we cancel, we want to make sure that we get the previous ID and we display it. Good. And if case empty, we don't want anything to show up. We don't want the add or delete to show up. All right. I mean, we don't want to, if it's empty, we don't want the delete or edit to show up. My bad. Yep, right there. All right, so that looks good. Now, add. You see here? Add. if the activity ID is not known, we want to save it just in case we want to cancel this current add activity. All right, so that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Now let's move up to the next one. Should be easy, simple. Here's the same way. If we are editing, we want to know we want to save this to a previous, just in case we want to cancel or adding activity or editing activity. All right. All looking good. And delete. Are you sure you are about to delete this activity? For we don't have anything to put in there. We just put you are about to delete this activity. Are you sure? All right, and then just get confirmation. We are done. We are done. That is that simple. You know, that is that simple. All right. All right. Now, in the preset here, yeah, this is fine. I'm just going to copy that. When you clear, you should reset this guy to these items. All right, but you should always do this here as well, because yeah. Let me see. Let me see this set control before we lock. See this empty? It doesn't clear. So maybe we should clear that here as well. And if we do clear that, then it's going to set. So let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. So let's do that. I think it should be in here as well. And now we don't have to. And now we don't have to do this here. All right, we just leave everything the way we had it, like so. Everything we had it, because it's going to call the set control here. All right, we are done with that. That wasn't that bad. All right. So in the next video, we are going to add the subform. We're going to test this out, and then we'll add the subform. All right. That's that for now. Let's recap. We yeah, let's go back. We recap. Pretty lengthy. I think this is long. Yeah, this is long. Maybe I should break this guy into halves. We add the table, activity, and activity type. All right, and then we also add class object right here, class object or class module right there. All right, and we add the access layer, database access layer right here. All right, which has 3 functions currently. We added the form, the front end. I'll go ahead and close that out. We added front end by copying. Let me collapse that. By copying the customer. So we copy this guy, and then we copy that guy, and then we made it the activity. We save it as activity, and we massage this thing at front end and the code behind. So we went line by line, bit by bit, and then piece by piece. We just have not tested it. All right, which I don't see any issues. Okay, I don't see any issues. So in the next video, let me show you what we're going to be doing in the next video. We are going to populate this guy this the type here from this guy. All right, that will be the list in here. We're going to be testing this, add these buttons, add, edit, and delete buttons, and then hopefully we'll get to populate this list, which should take that much. All right, that's this video. Happy programming. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like, share, and hit that bell. And also comment below, and if you need help, inbox me. Thanks again.